It's nice to meet you. I'm Genel Ambrose. I'm the curator of this exhibition. It features art from femme-identifying and non-binary people. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of the language that I'm using. This exhibition is called Witness, and so it's asking people to essentially look at yourself and tell your own story. And it's asking us to look through the eyes of other people as well, to be able to identify or to be able to find things that we can all relate around. So I'm curious if any of you would you consider yourself creatives or artists or photographers? Do you draw or illustrate? Do you like art? Yes?
It's all right.
A little bit? What are some ways you express yourselves? Movement, dancing, drawing? Well, all of these artists, they're photographers or visual artists, collage artists, and they express themselves through their art. And art is a very unique way to tell stories that attract a wide range of people. So you might not be a woman, a girl, a femme-identifying person, or a non-binary person, but there are elements, hopefully, to these pictures that you can relate and see maybe your sisters, your mom, your cousins, your aunties, your grandmother, your teachers, people that, are in your community and that also take care of you. How's that sound? Yeah? Do you all have any questions for me before I keep going? No. No? Okay, so are you familiar with photography?
Yes.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
And also videography and capturing that way?
Yeah.
So pictures are a really profound way, again, to be able to tell a story that relates to people. This is unrelated to Witness, but Frederick Douglass, have you heard of him?
Yes.
He is the most photographed person in the world. He knew the power of pictures and the power that images have to tell stories. And I think, hopefully this resonates with you all as boys of color, but oftentimes our stories are told for ourselves and we don't get to tell our own stories. There's a dominant narrative of stories, stereotypical stories about us. And so pictures are a way to be able to correct those stereotypes, because one cannot deny what they're seeing in a photo, right? So you can see yourself as a president or a governor or an NBA player or a football star, or someone who's running a Photoville, right? You can see yourself reflected in those people through the power of an image. So that's why photography is really important to me as a medium for storytelling. I consider myself a storyteller, and I consider curating art a form of storytelling. So I can take you through some of these photos quickly. Is there any image that really resonates with any of you that you really like or wanted to ask me about? I'll go with, you like this one, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, so this is Aisha Shillingford. She is a collage artist, and the woman you see in the collage is her. So how she created this, she took photos of herself, she cut them out, and so this is a scan of the actual collage, but all of the images you see here are individual images that she cut out from other pictures and put it together. And so essentially she's created an entire world where she sees herself. So this is a world where she's imagined that she is owning land. It's very lush. There's lots of plants and flowers. She's in community with other women. In this example, it's of herself. She's practicing movement. I think some of you mentioned you like dance and movement. This is her entire world. And she's included African art, different sculptures and different pieces of architecture. She's imagined a world where she is free, that's beautiful and abundant, and where she is essentially the empress of the world. I know we all live in New York City and we live in big buildings, but what kinds of worlds do you imagine for yourself?
Futuristic.
Yeah, she's very much into futurism, or what we call Afrofuturism. So tell me about your futuristic world. Are there lots of cars? Can you fly in the sky? Mm-hmm.
It's you can't walk anymore. It's just you have something that can take you anywhere, basically.
Mm-hmm. Can you snap your fingers and just imagine yourself where you want to be? Maybe we'll get there. You never know. So I can take you through quickly these photos. In my mind, I don't know if you all are into Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. But in my mind, each photo is a portal to a world, right? And in these worlds, the femme-identifying people that are pictured, or anyone that's in the picture, they're a part of a world where they are free to express themselves, and they don't have to worry about any sort of stereotypes or any other, feeling othered in certain spaces. So this artist is Liam Woods. Liam is a non-binary photographer. Their work is very much around capturing queer, transgender, and non-binary communities. And so in this photo, they've captured two women embracing, and it's called Welcome Home. It's really about this idea of being safe in spaces, and we all feel safe in our homes, right? More or less, I would hope that we all feel safe in our homes. And so what does it look like to have safety in community? So, you all are in the same class, right? There's a level of safety that you feel with each other, right? And as you spend a lot of time with each other throughout the day, right? So I'll move over here to Dee Williams. Dee is a queer Jamaican photographer. She's actually from New York, but she lives in LA. And this is of a photo of some women double dutching, which I used to love as a kid, in Lemare Park in Los Angeles. And what I should have mentioned earlier was that along this wall, this is all art from women, non-binary people based in Los Angeles. And on this side are all people from New York City. So this exhibition that you're experiencing has actually taken place all around the country. It first took place in Los Angeles, and I actually curated it initially with Tina Knowles, who's the mother of Beyonce. So she has a nonprofit that's focused on amplifying the stories and creative expressions of people from the African diaspora that she founded. It's called Where Art Can Occur. So initially, this exhibition experience was showcased at the Waco Theater Center in Los Angeles. And so we've been very privileged to travel it to Atlanta, to Miami, and now New York City. So this artist is Cara Elise Taylor. She's also based in LA, but her family is from Costa Rica, and she really wanted to document the Black experience in Costa Rica, which isn't often spoken about. So this is a yearly festival that takes place that she documented back in her hometown. And then I'll scoot over here. This is Alexis Hunley. Hopefully I don't start tearing up with you guys, but I really love this artist because her work features work that was created by her grandmother. So her grandmother passed away, and she discovered boxes and boxes of her grandmother's art. She didn't know her grandmother was a photographer. So what you see here in this diptych, this is her grandmother's photo, and this is her photo. Another example, this is her grandmother's photo, and this is her photo. So she is a photographer, Alexis, and she discovered that there was a lot of similarities between her work and her grandmother's work. And as she combed through her grandmother's archive, she began to collect images in this way. So I love to tell this story that her grandmother is posthumously also having her work featured around the country. I'm starting to cry. Amber Evangelista is another LA-based artist. This is a photo of her daughter. It's called Kennedy's Flowers, and it's a beautiful portrait series where she actually features her daughter and her son, and you can see his little hands here. Gabrielle Morse, I mentioned to you that the exhibition traveled to Atlanta. In Atlanta, we featured artists from HBCUs. It's a historically Black college and university. Yeah, so they're like Morehouse, I'm sure you've heard of Morehouse, or Spelman, Clark Atlanta. So we featured artists in Atlanta from HBCUs, and Gabrielle Morse is from, she graduated from Spelman University. So this is a photo she took in Venice, Italy, because she attended a conference that was really centered around art and what we call Black feminism. I won't explain all of that to you because it might be too much information, but essentially this is a photo that was taken in Venice, Italy to sort of reflect the experience that she had engaging with a woman named Simone Lee, who's a celebrated artist and who hosted a conference in Italy around ideas of what it means to be a Black woman. I'll turn over here to Dion Ivory. She is between Houston and LA, and she runs an organization called Black Women Are Worthy, and her work is really around how can photography be used as a tool to empower someone and to help improve their well-being. So she loves to photograph Black women specifically as a way to empower them and make them feel good about themselves. So as you can see here, there are portraits of a friend of hers that she photographed to be included in this exhibition. Here we have Amandala Baraka, who's a photographer. She's actually from Newark, New Jersey. She's based between New York and LA. And this is a part of her series called Water Birth, just thinking about how water is cleansing and how water provides renewal. And so thinking about how we are also born out of water in many ways. This is a part of a series that she's continuing to work on. And then the last two artists, Leilani Foster, who's an incredible artist. She's based in the Bronx. She recently had a daughter, and she really, and through that experience, really enjoyed documenting a woman who's pregnant. And so she has a whole series that she's begun documenting women as pregnancy as a beautiful experience. And then the last two images to wrap this up is Layla Stevens. She is a phenomenal artist. I believe she's also from the Bronx. I might be getting this wrong, but she's definitely a New York City-based artist who I really, really admire. And this is from her series called Zami. It's inspired by Audre Lorde, who's also a Black feminist writer. And Audre Lorde really speaks to this idea of, again, Black womanhood, and her work speaks to a coming of age for Black women, femmes, expressed through this photography. So thank you so much. It was great to meet you all. I really hope you enjoy your time here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.